All right, Mr. Fusion AI himself, Mr. Joseph Conrad. How are you, buddy?
Doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
I am good, man. I'm good. I'm excited for this conversation. I think you're building some really cool stuff that is going to be able to benefit the listeners and benefit really anybody that's looking to integrate AI. I think you have a really cool kind of take on what you're building. Um, but like we were just kind of talking about, I think to do the best service to allow people to kind of connect with your journey and how you came to found Fusion AI and what you're building now. I want to start off with just telling everybody how old you are. How old are you, Joseph?
I'm 22. I literally turned 22 like maybe 5, 6 days ago. So
Yes,
still pretty
yes.
young.
Yeah, so happy belated birthday on that. You're super young and you've got a lot of really cool things going. So, founding a SaaS company, I don't feel like most people have in their cards for 22 years old. Um, you're definitely a weirdo like me. I would have said that I was capable of doing the same thing, and been interested in that, whereas most people your age are not interested in that, right? At your age. So let's talk about backing all the way up to entrepreneurship in general. Like, what was your first kind of entrepreneurial dipping your toe in the water?
Yeah, so I've been trying to get into entrepreneurship since I was like 14. Like even before that, right? I was just knocking on our neighbors' doors, literally, trying to cut their grass for them, just try and sell anything. And when I was 14, I remember we were on a holiday at this place in the UK called Cornwall, like your equivalent to California.
Yeah,
And I was just really bored, so I tried to start a clothing brand. At that time, I know like print on demand stuff, it was getting pretty popular. So we used a store called Printify, and I tried to push it. I made no money whatsoever, but I learned quite a few valuable skills. So from like 14 to around 18, I was just trying every single thing. I had a website design agency called Absolute Websites. I tried tons of drop shipping stores. We used to ship like these mini straighteners. I may even have my Instagram account still up. It was called Unicorn Straighteners, and
okay.
I was trying to run ads for that. I only had like 100 quid in my bank account at the time, so obviously I lost all of that money. And like most people, they who start their entrepreneurship journey, they likely come across an Iman Gadsby video. So
Yeah,
I came across an Iman video talking about SMMA. And the second I saw that, I saw the watch in his wrist, I saw the backdrop, and I was like, okay, I'm about to be a millionaire overnight.
yeah.
So I just went full steam ahead on it. And literally for 7 to 8 months, I was just grinding, trying to get my first client. I finally did. Her name was T. She was actually out in New Zealand. She paid me the grand total of £50,
Nice,
and she worked me like crazy. I was probably working for her like 7 hours a day for £50 a month. But I
nice.
learned so many valuable skills, and from there I just scaled up my content agency. So that's called Fusion Media. But around this time last year, well, maybe around November, I really started just nerding out when it comes to AI. Like I was just reading tons of books, and I came across this book. It was called. My dad actually bought it for me. It was called The AI Driven Leader. So I started reading it, and then I actually connected with the guy who wrote it, and he gave me just tons of insights about how AI is going to take over leadership. It's going to take over tons of miscellaneous tasks. So then I stepped back, and I literally saw my team, because I had a crazy large team for Fusion Media. We had over 30 editors, tons of
Wow.
managers, 35 virtual agents working for us, tons of other people. And I was like, damn, my profit margin's just terrible.
Yeah.
So I started looking at alternative options when it comes to AI content tools. I mean, there was tons out there, but there was two main issues with them. First and foremost, they weren't very good because they were actually built by people who quick cash grab. Is pretty easy just to label AI content and make a bit of money.
Yeah.
Secondly, they weren't like an all-in-one tool, meaning I would still need to go pay for like the AI editors, the AI script writers, just all of these things. So my problem wasn't solved. Uh, and that's when I then came up with the idea to go put around 100k no pounds, 100k pounds
Hmm.
straight into this SaaS. So right now I have 4 developers working for me, and we've been launched for around a month and coming up for 2 months now. So just really trying to get it off the ground. So that's a quick
Yeah.
run through of my story.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. It's I mean, I had a very similar kind of starting off story at 13. I started making little like paracord survival bracelets, and like taking custom orders and selling them for like 5, $6 a pop. And that was like my first venture into entrepreneurship. Didn't even know there was a word for it at that point. I just knew that I liked like creating something, and then like people paid for it, and that was so cool to me. um I did the lawn mowing thing and like the landscaping thing all summers. That was like always a big cash thing for me. I tried the clothing company. I went the no, the less smart route from what you did. I didn't try print on demand. I tried like actually ordering a ton of inventory. And so then that's even worse when you get that in, and then you're just sitting on that if you can't sell it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I tried, fitness equipment, and like there were several things along the way. And I'm curious if you had a similar kind of, I guess, experience or conclusion that you came to of, for me, it was fitness coaching, right? Whenever I first understood, oh, doing a service, I actually, if I make $1,000, I keep $1,000 versus doing a product. Like, if you make $50, then like 35 of it might go to ordering the next product, right? And then like 7 of it's going to go to shipping. And then you have your processing fees, and then you have your advertising costs, like your cost to acquire that customer. Like you have, by the end of it, you might actually take home as the founder like $1 on a $50
Yeah.
sale, right? And I remember for me, it was like the light bulb went off whenever I started fitness coaching, because that was the first service based business I had ever done. And I was like, oh, this is the path. Like this is the way for me to go make my money, or my financial freedom is to charge for a service instead of charging for the like, did you have a similar, I guess, realization? Because it sounds like you did a lot of products and then you did your SMMA after you found Iman stuff.
Not really, to be honest. I literally just wanted money, like
Yeah.
crazy bad. So I used to work at like I've been working since I was like 14, like an actual like job, just to always get money. And I just knew like, okay, I need to go do something. It wasn't even necessarily kind of like the money. It was more just to say this thing's mine. So when I came across the content agency model, the literally after maybe 7 clients, I delegated it anyway. So it was only really for my first 7 clients. I was making like 100% profit margins, and then straight away, I just delegated it just to try and remove myself from that model, because
Yeah.
that's what I really like to do in businesses. I like to try and remove myself really as soon as possible, so then I kind of can just have more time to think, more time to scale, because I always get caught up in something random during the day, which takes me like 10 years to sort.
Yeah. I totally get that. I totally get that. And where exactly did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in the UK. It's this place called Bristol.
Okay.
It's around maybe around like 2.5 hours away from London. I know a
Mhm.
lot of the listeners may just know London. Yeah, I loved growing up. Well, I'm still here right now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get out to Miami pretty soon. I'm visiting America like a lot more frequent, but I
Yeah.
haven't yet made the move yet there. But when I do, that's where I'm going to end up, just because to be honest, I don't even know why I like Miami. I think it's
Yeah.
just because of the heat. Like, if you look outside now, it's literally been raining all day. It's
Yeah.
only 8 o'clock and it's like dark outside. I
Hmm.
don't know. I just want something where it's like warm. I can step out, and everything's just there for me. That's what
Yeah.
I'm really aiming for.
Yeah. So for you, the draw to relocate to America is obviously, I mean, I feel like opportunity wise, it's pretty equivalent between the two, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's
There's
mainly
obviously
just weather, environment, really.
Yeah, and it's like a new place. From joining maybe like 2, 3 different mentorships, every single person seems to be based out in either Miami, California, or New York.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm trying to I do quite like New York, but the main problem I have with it is still cold.
Yeah.
I want to experience some heat.
No, totally. Totally. Yeah, I mean between those three, the cost of living is pretty high. So that'll yeah, definitely make your money. And I think you're doing the right thing with the SaaS company, man. Um okay, so like what was it about, if we take one step kind of back in your journey, what was it about the content agency or the SMMA kind of space with the way that laid it out for you that made you want to go all in on that? Because especially for a kid at that time, I'm guessing you were 20. Um, it spending 7 or 8 months on anything is a lot. That's a really dedicated, like concentrated effort. So what was it about that kind of like locked and held your attention, being somebody that had tried a bunch of different things really rapidly?
Okay, I call this like a gift and a curse. I think I have like the most obsessive personality of all time.
Same.
Like obviously when it comes to business, it's like it's absolutely wonderful. I can just lock in on a single thing and not care. But like, with other things it becomes really, really bad. A great
Yeah.
example is like imagine if you're just speaking to a girl for the last like 6 months, like because you're not in control like you are in business, like if you decide to stop speaking, it's like, oh no, but because like you've got that obsessive personality, then it will
Yeah,
distract you from your other thing. So it's a gift and a curse. That's basically
definitely.
how I see it. Um,
Yeah.
and it's with anything like you could ask my friends. I get an idea in my head. We were even in dinner like Saturday night, right? I learnt about. I was speaking to someone about the difference in AI between innovating and integrating. How like people who don't have a major funding, obviously it's better for integration. It's all I spoke about. We were meant to be out for my birthday meal. All I spoke about was AI integration just because I had it in my head. So it's
Yeah.
like a gift and a curse. That's how I kind of see it.
No, I think it's the same. I think everybody that goes down the entrepreneurial, because it's not an easy path, right? Like it's not a, people, I think entrepreneurship is glorified because of like the potential outcomes, right? Work for yourself, be your own boss, set your own schedule. But in reality, the people that get into it for that are not the ones that win, that ever get to that point, right? It is the people that are obsessed, that are kind of like these gluttons for pain, and enjoy like really buckling down and going dark mode for a while to try to
Yeah,
build something that can potentially make it to that point. And it sounds like you have a similar thing to what I would categorize myself as too. Is if I get into something, like I can't I can't focus on the next thing or feel good about doing anything else until I've got some level of like achievement with
yeah.
that thing, whether it was like getting an MVP or getting, just like a couple of users or getting a sale or something like that. Like it just sticks in the back of my mind and it just drives me insane until I like itch it. You know what I mean?
It's really annoying though, because like even if like let's say you're tired but you haven't done your to-do list, so you just want to chill for the rest of the day, watch a bit of YouTube or something, you can't even enjoy it because it's just in the
Yeah.
back of your head being like, lock in, lock in. Your competitors are getting ahead of you. You need to go back to work, and it's like, come on, just let me watch some YouTube.
Yeah.
Like it is actually a gift and a curse. That
Yeah.
is the best possible way for me to view it.
No, definitely.
And
Definitely.
it's funny you mention about like the 9 to 5 stuff, because what I see, like obviously I understand it, people need to push their like info products, etc., right? But I feel like what most people don't even understand is that when it comes to like entrepreneurship, is that very few people actually achieve the life which you see like Iman doing when he's driving around, has what like 10 M's in cars, 20 M watch collection. Like
Yeah.
you can still go ahead, work for someone, make a few million a year, have equity within that company. Because that's
Yep.
exactly what I'm going to have for people within Fusion AI, right? I want
Yeah.
people to make a few million, have equity in the company because they're going to make me even more money. But most
Yeah.
people don't understand that.
Definitely. Yeah. It's looking at people's, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got is, if somebody's going to be on your team or you're going to look to hire somebody, you always need to get their goals up front, and you need to
Yeah,
encourage them to share whether it is something that necessarily fits inside of what you're trying to build or not. Because if you're on the same page from day one about what their actual goals are, then, your goals as the entrepreneur should be big enough for everybody else's goals to fit within them. And if they're not, then you just have to understand that this person is going to be a temporary piece in this company if you bring them in. So that's what I hear you saying there is like,
Yeah.
if people have that goal and they're more money driven, it's like, hey, you can come in and you can, if we scale this thing and if we do it right, you can come in and make 1 million, 2 million
Yeah.
by being a part of this thing. Like your dream fits inside of mine. Like, come on, let's do this.
Because when you're hiring someone, what's like the key thing you typically look out for or even ask?
Yeah, I mean, we do something called the Strengths Finder. It's from Gallup Strength. It's called the Strengths Finder exam. So it basically places 32 strengths on like a rankings. It's like 40 something questions and they have like 30 minutes to do it. So you only get like 10 or 15 seconds per question. So you don't get time to think. It's just like your knee jerk instinct reactions. And that's why it's like that, is because we don't want you to answer what you think we would want you to answer. We want you to like not have time to think about it. So it just goes, 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 goes. So at the end of it, what we get on anybody that interviews with us is we get a breakdown of their top 32 strengths in order. So is this person really good at connection? Are they really good at analysis? Are they really good at organization? Are they really good at inspiring? You know what I mean? Like it kind of breaks it down for us. And then when you look at the role, okay, does this person's strengths match what we want in the role? But something I heard from Dan Martell that he describes hiring as a like a picture it as like a graph, right? So there's 4 quadrants, right? There's an x-axis and a y-axis. Let's say the x is like culture, they're fit for the culture, and then the y is their fit for like skill set. He said if you find somebody that is high skill, low culture, run. He's like, don't hire that person because you can always train someone to become more skilled. You can't train better culture into that person. So if someone's high skilled, low culture, right? If they're in that top left of this graph, so to speak, then what they're going to do is they're going to come in, learn. They might achieve some success, but they're probably going to go do their own thing because they have no attachment to what we're actually building, what our team mission is. If they have high skill, high culture, then that's obviously good. But what you really want to look for is somebody that's in the middle of like really, really high culture, like maximum culture and buy-in, and low to middle skill, because
Yeah.
that person can come in, you can train them to be high skill, but because they're so bought in from the very beginning, that's a very sticky, very valuable employee.
Exactly, because it's funny. So I've partnered with this company. They've basically paid me to install my agency system into just their internal for their business, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
content. So last week I was hiring a bunch of people for them, and one of the things which I don't know why, but it really really annoys me. Do you know when you say to someone at the end of an interview, "Do you have any other questions?" and they say they don't? It's one of my biggest pet peeves, and it really frustrates me. And secondly, have you ever had it in an interview where you feel like you're speaking to a robot? It's like, hello, my name is John. I am very happy to be. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, just speak to me like a real person.
Yeah. Give me some personality. Like, let's connect a little bit.
Yeah. So for me,
Mhm.
that's the biggest. And then finally, I really like people who are materialistic
Mhm.
because, like, our goal, like, I tell people all the time, like, you're probably not going to have the best work life balance, but I can promise you I'm going to make you a lot of money. So I even like to ask questions like, what's your dream car? What's your dream watch? Because I can kind of just suss out that person and see
Yeah.
if they're like, what they're kind of in it for. Obviously, I want them to be in it to grow the company, they're into the culture, but I
Yeah.
also like to attach it to a materialistic item because for me, I'm quite a materialistic person.
Do you find that motivation though works best with men as opposed to women?
To be honest, we found it with both. To be honest, so I literally just hired a new person to create content. Her name's Ginny. She's crushing it so far, and she's super like she likes nice stuff as well, from what I've seen. To be honest, so
Hmm.
I haven't really seen a sense of difference, just down to the fact that I've probably hired more. No, I've hired more women than men actually,
Yeah.
because most of my virtual agents for Fusion Media, they're women. So I haven't necessarily seen a difference, but
Yeah,
I
that's super
may,
interesting.
as I go on to hire like more. well-paying jobs, like more
Yeah.
like multi six-figure jobs. So that would be like me to report back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think what we have found is typically the motivations behind accepting a role are very different. Now, there's obviously more masculine women and there's more feminine men out there that might have kind of a reversal in some of these. But we found a lot of times is like women want to come be a part of like a strong community, a strong
Yeah,
team. They really like to contribute to building high morale and being a part of necessarily like they're more inclined to want to come be a part of something versus
yeah,
a lot of times men they're coming in and they have we as men we have typically there's a lot of ego involved, there's a lot of pride
yeah,
involved, and so men want to come in, they want to get recognition, they want to stand out, they want to be praised more, they want to be like they want to have a clear path to more.
yeah.
And so if you don't, I like what you're talking about as far as understanding their real motivations as
Mm,
just an idea, because if you don't understand what their real motivations are and you hire them thinking or assuming that they are going to want to come in and be a good team player and come in and just contribute and things like that, but they're really coming in and they're wanting to like go stamp their name on stuff, then
yeah.
that's a two very different conversations and two very different outcomes if you don't understand them up front.
And that just comes down to like I think Dan Martell says this again, or maybe someone else. I don't know. Hire slow,
Probably.
fire fast.
Hmm.
Like I used to be really, really scared. Like I still remember his name. His name was Jude. He was the first ever person I hired for Fusion Media. I had him for 5 months. 2 of those months, I wanted to fire him, but I was way too scared to. So he was just within my business, obviously not delivering the output, but because I was too scared, because I was 19 at the time, so I was just really too scared to fire him. I was just paying him to do absolutely nothing until
Yeah.
one day I actually told my dad, and I was like, what should I go do? And he was just like, get on with it. So I was like, I was thinking about it all day, and then I did it, and it was like, this isn't even bad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I think we work up those conversations a lot of times in our head. And obviously it's not fun. It's one of the very unfun things about entrepreneurship is like having to let somebody go, and you take on an enormous amount of responsibility for putting food on somebody's table, putting, money in their pocket and helping out their family and everything when you do hire somebody. And so doing the opposite of that, like it is a very tough thing to do. And
well,
it's not something you even think about having to do whenever you get into business. Like nobody gets into business thinking like this is gonna be awesome. I get to fire people. Like that's not a motivation.
Well, that's the thing. Like I know you said they work for you to put food on their table and stuff, but I had this mindset shift recently. It's like if they really cared about their family, they would be working hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
that's a
how
good
I'm
shift.
seeing it. Yeah, because it's the
Yeah.
truth. It's like they would be delivering outcomes, and even if we want a good fit, they would still be pretty decent in the business. So finding a new job, it wouldn't be very hard for them.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, it's got to be a business decision, right? If it doesn't make sense for the business, then it doesn't benefit. And it also does a disservice to the rest of the employees that might be doing really well,
Yeah.
because a portion of what they could be earning, or maybe a portion of where the business could be headed that would result in better lifestyles for everybody across the board, is being hindered by this one person that the founder refuses to cut ties with and cut dead weight. So you're absolutely right. Okay, so I feel like I'm seeing a lot more YouTube videos right around like AI agencies, and starting to look at how can you take your agency and whatever your agency might be really good at and make it into some sort of a SaaS product that you sell individually. Did you do? Did you kind of see what people were doing in like the AI automation space, and then be like, okay, I could do this with Fusion? Or what played a role in the decision for you to be like, okay, I'm going to make my own SaaS that is a competitor technically to your agency and what was currently paying the
Yeah.
bills, and go that path?
It wasn't anything to do with like NA10 or anything. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know what NA10 was until like 3 months ago when one of my developers mentioned it to me. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
that tapped in. I need to be more. But I think one of the main things was always like, so we have this thing called GCSEs in the UK. It's like you do it when you're like 15. I don't know what the equivalent is in America, but one of the things I did was computer science, and it's where I briefly learned how to write like a few lines of code. I realized I hated coding and I never wanted to do it again. But what I really loved doing was just setting the vision, like seeing my vision come to life. Like I'm very good at speaking what I want into existence and communicating to someone. This is what I want. Go get it done for me. Like I would say like I'm not like a just a person who's super good at like let's say making content, writing scripts or something. What I'm very good at is telling someone exactly what I want, being able to find the best person for it and letting them get on with it. And that's basically how it happened. My idea, I just got it in my head one night. I wanted a software. I didn't want to go ahead and just make a bunch of like automations and try and sell like a template or something. I
Yeah.
instead wanted to make a software, just put it out into the world. So I searched for maybe, I would like to say about 3 weeks for a developer. It happened really quick. So this is why I think like it was God who gave me the idea, and it happened because it was literally like I was searching around for 3 weeks, and I had like this random guy from Oslo reach out to me saying, "Hey, we heard you're looking for developers." So I got on a call with him. His name's Travag.
Okay.
And literally from there, I think I had three more calls for him. I sent him the wire, met the four developers. And yeah, since then, they've just been working for me for the last 8 months. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. And so you have been using cash flow from Fusion Media in order to fund this Fusion AI product or
Yeah.
tool that you're developing.
Yeah.
And do you see this tool as a almost like you creating your own competitor or the next evolution of your own, I guess, business model? Like how are you looking at the future versus what you currently have that's currently like paying the bills, so to speak?
Yeah, so right now the main thing we've done is so we've implemented Fusion AI into our agency, Fusion Media. We've been able to lean out our editor team by 70%. Like I'm not here to say like Fusion AI is going to be able to replace all of your editors. If you want like crazy animations, right? Fusion AI can't do that. We're not trying to compete with After Effects, Adobe,
Yeah.
but most of our clients, they just want pretty simple captions, a bit of B-roll on board. We can do that with Fusion AI, and I can just get a virtual agent to do it because it's so simple to use. That virtual agent, who I'm paying $3 or $4 an hour, she's going ahead producing the videos, as opposed to in my agency with editors, right? At peak, we were paying them between $20 to $25 per short form video, $100 to $250 per long form video. So we've been able to really lean down the profit margins with that. So, like I said, I've been able to lean down the editors by 70%. Script writers, I don't have any anymore. It was funny. I was out in Miami maybe 3 weeks ago. One of the script writers who used to work for me, his name's Michael. We went for breakfast together. So, but yeah, he's crushing it now. I just thought it was funny how basically
Yeah.
replaced him with AI. But social media managers, we've been able to remove. I still have a content manager, but he's not like a social media manager. He kind of just overviews like all our ClickUp boards, etc. Make sure everything's perfect. So we've been able to lean out the team by a lot, which is really good, and I'm happy about. And in regards to kind of like replacement, etc., this is how I really view it. There's going to be like a gap. So right now, there's like editors who are just terrible, editors who are okay, editors who are absolutely excellent. I think AI is going to replace the okay and just dog shit ones. But like the people who are like, editing like those crazy After Effects ones, they're not going to be replaced anytime soon.
Yeah.
So if you do want to be an editor, top tip to you, become very good on like After Effects. Don't try and be good on like like these commoditized kind of like caption edits because people are going to be using my tool for what, like 49.99 a month instead of paying
Yeah.
you a potential salary of like 1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Um, So that's how I see the space. And with script writing, yeah, realistically, script writers are just kind of cooked.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah. And
that's what
there are going to be, so in our industry, right, with us helping fitness coaches, I took a look at, where is this headed? And I kind of thought, okay, there's probably three paths. Number one is, everybody refuses to kind of evolve and start to integrate AI into their workflows. And at some point, nerds start to look at the industry, like nerds like me, right? Nerds like you, um, take a look at the fitness coaching industry and be like, okay, none of these dummies are evolving at all. They're not using any of this. Like, we could easily make some stuff to replace these guys because they're so far behind. So like nerds come in and take over the market, right? Um, Option number two is that, and I think this is probably the most likely one, is that, a few coaches go all in on AI and they each get, up to where they have a few thousand clients each. So instead of the average coach, maybe being able to scale to like 100 clients, which is a massive coaching company, there will be a few that have a few thousand clients because they're so good at it in AI fulfillment.
yeah,
And then the last road, which is what I'm pushing for, is, pumping out as much AI education and tools as possible for coaches to be able to maximize, like multiply their impact through the use of these AI tools, and so that they're not replaced by these AI tools, right?
yeah,
And so that's been a big push of ours, is like, we're going to create the tools so that you can multiply your impact, not the products to replace you, because someone could choose to go either way. And I'm the bad coaches that refuse to and the ones that refuse to adopt any type of AI, they will get replaced. And I've talked about that a lot. I talked about it at an event that I was at last weekend, is like, you're not at risk of getting replaced by AI unless you don't use it and someone who uses AI who's going to replace you, right? Like, the people
yeah,
that are going to get replaced are the ones that refuse to use it. So I am completely in agreement with you of like the mediocre and the bad and the non-adopters are going to get replaced in a lot of different industries, not just like copywriting or editing or fitness coaching or whatever, like a lot of it of
yeah.
industries. Um, I guess, how do you see the tool that you've built as a multiplier for people in your space or for business owners? Like, how is it a multiplier for me, so to speak?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the way I would even pitch it to you, like imagine I'm trying to do like an elevator pitch, I'd be like, right now you're creating content. I see you're just adding like captions, pretty simple effects. Do you currently have an editor doing it for you?
Yes, we do.
How much are you paying them per month?
We pay, I think, $20 a video, and we have two editors.
Okay, and what would you say is kind of the final output per month in video quantity?
We probably get 50 to 80 videos each.
Okay, what if I said to you, you can make unlimited batches of videos with the exact same quality half the time for $99 a month?
Yeah,
That's exactly how I'd pitch it. And I would also pitch the fact that for that same cost, imagine also being able to script your videos and being able to review your competitors.
yeah. No, I mean, I love it. So for me though, like, as far as multiplying, because I think you need to add a layer to that. And obviously this is your tool. I love
Yes.
that pitch from like just a straight up cost savings perspective. Add a layer of because whenever you and I were playing with the tool initially, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever you and I first like took a look at it, something I think that's so incredible about what you've done is the amount of context that you can give to the tool, to where you're not having to go back and forth with an editor for a really long time so they can learn your style and get better and get better with the type of tool that you're creating. Like, I can just dump like my personality, like what I want into this thing, and get more and better versions of me out of it. So like,
Yeah.
that's what the multiplication effect is. Like, yeah, we're going to multiply our profit and keep our profits way higher. But something that's special about what you've built is there's that personalization aspect of it, to where like Baker can go in and script out things that much faster, to where that's not something that's just pending that I have to go think about later. I'm going to talk to the script writers and go back and forth with them for an hour on my call. and it's going to have a whole lot of them in it, not a whole lot of me, because I don't have time to write stuff from scratch and send it over to them all the time. And like what you've built, it's got all the tools and the knowledge base aspect that you were showing me to almost like you're starting 80% of the way there.
Yeah. So I kind of guess to your audience to give a bit more context. Basically, what we've done with our scriptwriter is imagine you being able to upload any competitor's videos. So I want to give an example. Let's say you want to write a video sales letter. You can paste in a competitor of yours video sales letter, but let's say it has incredible insights, but how they format it, etc., is not the best. What you could then do is take an Alex Hormozi how to write a VSL tutorial, upload that as well. And before you even prompt our AI to be able to script it for you, to provide even more information, you can navigate over to our knowledge base and you can literally upload documents about your business. I do this, I've helped John achieve XYC, Sally XYC. Now, what you can do is you can go prompt our scriptwriter to take those two videos you've uploaded, use the knowledge base. You can also attach your brand voice so it sounds like you, and you can say something like, taking the insights from this VSL, use Alex Hormozi's VSL structure, everything in a knowledge base using my brand voice, and it will craft something for you just like that. So it's saving you so much time having to go back and forth. And these are things you can't even do on ChatGPT. Like you can't go ahead and just paste in YouTube videos. You just can't. You can't go ahead and just paste in like your knowledge base in a super long thing. So we've been able to condense that all down, and we've got some really really exciting plans for the future. Because this is another thing. And tell me if I'm cutting you off, but this is another
No.
thing I want to go on to. So do you know how you said it earlier on about like coaches, whether or not they adapt to AI or not? But this is the thing. I feel like a lot of people are going to jump into AI without truly understanding it, and they're going to try and be innovators. I truly believe right now, for people like us who don't have billions of dollars behind them, trying to be an innovator, it is really, really stupid just
Yeah.
because you're never going to be able to keep up with like OpenAI, etc. So instead, your core focus should be where these tools are lacking, and that's integration. If you're able to build a tool that's able to integrate in everything, and this is currently all I'm getting my devs to do. All I'm getting them to do is open up APIs, allow for people to connect to their YouTube channels, their Notion, etc. You're going to be far superior, and you're going to make so much more money because let's face it, by the time someone's plugged in their existing workflow into yours, it's really annoying for them to have to change. So they're not going to cancel. But if you
Yeah.
try and be an innovator, okay, you may be successful, but it's pretty hard to with like you not having much money behind you. If you haven't done integration very well, it's pretty easy for me to also cancel my subscription because I haven't connected the rest of like my business workflow into it. And this is what most people don't understand.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out.
No, I think I mean, so the way that we've been explaining that internally is I want to be the pop socket that
Yeah,
sticks on the back of the iPhone. I don't want to build a new iPhone because
exactly.
I can't compete with Apple, right?
Mm.
But I can build something that attaches onto this huge, massive company, this huge, massive movement, and make a pretty good penny by doing that. So that's exactly how, and that's how we've explained it internally within our meetings and everything is like, it's really easy. I'll say this, okay, because I've been guilty of this too. I'm sure you have it at some point or another. When you discover the world, and I know you're not vibe coding, Joseph, but
Yeah.
when you discover the world of vibe coding, which I've talked about quite a bit on the podcast, that was how I made the MVPs of my products before we got developers involved. Um, when you discover the world of vibe coding, if you are a creative person at all, your first instinct and every instinct that you're going to get as soon as you get something that works and it kind of clicks for you, oh, I can build anything, is you're going to try to go build the next Facebook. You're going to try to build an Instagram. You're going to try to build a go high level. Like you're going to try to build a massive platform. And to Joseph, to your point, and what I have learned as well in building some of these things and spending the last 6 months doing so, you're much better off picking a
Yeah.
feature that is really powerful and good, validating that feature with real customer feedback or beta users, and then making that feature concrete, launching that thing, getting people on the platform, and then evolving from there. Because the
That
second that you get into 3 features, 5 features, 10 features, 15 features, that is so hard to ship a polished product. And it's so you're trying to be the like you said, the innovator and not the actual
yeah,
integrator.
because I mean, look at like Notion, Go High Level, etc. They really became successful once they enabled integration.
Yep.
Like that's what Go High Level does pretty well, I think. Obviously, they have their own automation stuff, but it's only useful to an extent. And then obviously, you want to plug in extra webhooks. So
Yep.
most of these platforms they become successful once you can integrate. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't you, when you build your own product, make sure it's integration focused? And it also leads on to another thing like marketing. I'm sure you've probably seen like a shift in how people are really going about like marketing everything, right? It's like I feel like the days of just like this really like cringe level marketing just doesn't work anymore. As an example, I posted a video maybe 5 days ago, and it was like, do you know those like Minecraft handbooks? Do you know like those full Minecraft? I don't know if you used to play Minecraft. Okay, so
I did, but a long time ago, like talking a decade ago.
Okay, so they released like these 4 Minecraft handbooks. It was like this combat book and this redstone book. And I basically said, if you bought this redstone book, you are now on your way to a millionaire or you're already a millionaire. That
Mm,
actually helped us get tons of signups for Fusion AI.
that's
It's,
awesome.
it's, it's because you're just talking a bunch of random stuff. But when I've made like another video and it's like, a bit more like salesy pitchy, we don't do anything. So
Crickets.
this is why we're really trying to do the angles. So a very good example, right? So we're about to launch an info product where I'm teaching people how they can build their own AR content agency. Because the thing is one, I can provide value because I'm one of the very few people who has actually scaled an agency and can show it. Like, yeah, anyone can go ahead and show fakes, Slack screenshots, etc. A great way to know if someone's actually made money is if they can go put 100K plus into a software just because they
Yeah,
wanted to, right? Not many people can show that. People can show a fake screenshot or I don't know, a Porsche or
you're
something.
right. Yeah.
But so we're doing that to show people how they can actually build one up on their own. And obviously, alongside me being able to provide value, if I can also get Fusion AI known as their AI content agency business model, people can be like, oh, okay, I need Fusion AI to be able to do it. A really good example. Have you heard of him? His name's I think his Instagram name's Moosey. His name may be Musa.
I've heard of him.
Okay, so he owns this clipping. Do you know like how Whoop clippings become really really popular?
Yes. Yep.
So he owns a clipping software. It's going to clip it up. Here, I think he just. Well, I saw a video saying he's been offered about 30 million to be acquired, all
Wow.
because he attached a business model to a SaaS. It is so. This is what we're trying to do with Fusion AI. We're trying to attach AI content agency, and then the new lady who I hired, Ginny, right, to go create content, be somewhat the face of the brand for Fusion AI. What I've seen is also crushing it, kind of within the women's niche. Do you know Shelby Sapp?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of doing like fitness stuff, I've asked her to focus on like social media girl boss, Miami, like, day in the life of a social AI social media influencer. I
Yep.
wake up, get matcha, fucking drive my Porsche to Pilates because, we're attaching like all of these business models to
Yeah.
Fusion AI. Because I made the mistake in literally the first month and it was really, really hard for me to get sales. I was just selling the software
Hmm.
like I was getting on these product demo uh, tools to really just understand what people like and don't like about it. I was trying to get on an hour call to sell something for $49. It was ridiculous,
Yeah.
but I found no one actually cared when I showed them the tool. Like I've made more money just by simply telling someone about the benefit of Fusion AI. Hey, you don't need to spend hours creating content. Okay, cool. Here's my credit card. So after finding that out, it's like we need to attach some sort of business model, some sort of feeling or outcome. Because I'm not a marketer. Like
Yeah.
I'm a guy who's comes up with the ideas, and then I hire someone who's good. They tell me, I give the thumbs up, and I'm like, okay, go ahead and just make it happen for me.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting find. I feel like when it comes to software, like the corporate field, when it comes to marketing, I just feel like it's gone.
Yeah. I think you've got a lot of, you get it, right? You get it. You have to sell the outcome, the dream, not the actual solution, right?
Yeah,
Most software sales calls, there's not even a demo at this point. Like you
yeah.
just get on like, do you have a pain point? Cool. This solves all your pain points. Where are you ready to sign up? Like that's what it ends up being.
But that's
Um, Go
sorry
ahead.
to interrupt, but that's like the hard thing, right? And I'm sure it's the same. The thing is, I didn't even code it, so I can imagine it's 10 times harder for you. You're
Hmm.
so emotionally attached to it, you don't even want to speak about the outcome. You want to be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, look at this really, really cool animation on this button,"
Yeah.
which you think is really cool, and that's what makes software sales really, really hard because you've become so invested into this product. It's like your baby.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It really is. And it took us a long time to get there too, as far as, um, the first software business was we were giving full on demos on every sales call. And we found that nobody cared about that. It actually helped us lose their interest. And, yeah, it's something that you have to learn, but it's just a good rule of thumb in sales in general. And, an example of what you're talking about is just so random. But over the weekend, somebody sent me a mutual friend who's doing like land flipping. I don't know if you've seen that, but sent me one of his posts, and then I started getting like hammered with land flipping ads from this guy and from a bunch of his competitors, and um, all of them. One thing I noticed, because I always just go into people's funnels and see like what do they got going
Yeah,
on, what are they doing, and try to funnel hack a little bit, especially in different industries, because you can sometimes see cool stuff. Every land flipping ad that I got, every one of those guys now, instead of it being just a course or just a mentorship to learn how to go flip land, all of them have their own like land lead scraping SaaS, their own
yeah,
land leads CRMs. And so the first step to work with them, like, hey, just for free, get a trial over here on this SaaS and it's their own thing that they made that is just, probably a wrapper of some other lead scraping tool or some other land kind of tool, but it's the same model, right? It's like you're selling the dream of getting rich, never having to put your own money into land and getting these contracts and selling them for 30 to 40% more somewhere else. And it's like step one of this new business model is sign up for this software, and this is going to give you everything you need to go make a couple hundred grand a month. And it's like it's smart, right? To integrate your own, vertically integrate, right? That's what
yeah.
you're essentially doing. You're vertically integrating. I've got this massive thing I can help you do, and I created the tools to help you get there. So you need to go through these tools as well. So I love it, dude. I think you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, now it's basically just driving adoption. I I feel like probably maybe not in 2025, probably 2026 early. We'll start running ads to Fusion AI because right now our main way of growth, and this is like some low key source for a lot of you guys watching, is we're installing Fusion AI into a lot of info products just because if like most info products when it comes to content, they don't even do the done for you delivery. So it's like basically we just partner with these, and this is some low key source once again. We just partner with these people and they're like, hey, install Fusion AI for you, and we'll
Yeah.
give you XYZ commission.
Yep.
So that's kind of the way we're growing. But obviously, it's good to some extent, but it doesn't make you famous. So obviously, the being famous in the software is pretty important. Like you want fame, so
Yeah.
that's what we're probably going to try and do in 2026. But for now, improve the product, help a bunch of people scale their own AI content agency, um, and grow my personal brand. That's like a really, really big thing for me right now. Like that's my main focus. And then I was thinking about hiring more developers, but to be honest, the output with four is pretty decent. It's just is setting expectations. Because if any of you guys are watching this and you plan to start your own software, right, but you have no real coding experience like me, in your head you're going to be super biased. Like for me, I say go do something, and I'm like, this is a 5 minute job. Somehow it's a 5 day job.
Yeah.
So, and it's like it's really annoying because like when you don't have that coding understanding, you really just go back and forth with your devs, and you're like, hey, why have you spent the last 48 hours on this? Why hasn't it been done in 2 minutes? Like, why aren't you making the code faster, flow faster? Like, it's just all of these things, which is so unexpected when it comes to software, because you get sold a dream. Once again, it's just Dan Martell doing brilliant marketing. He's like, you start a SaaS, you have MRR rolling in every single month. You never need to work. You can spend your time on the boat. But it's like, yeah, maybe once you get to like 8 figures, then you have a team to do it for you. But up until that, you're in the trenches like real hard.
Yeah. 100%. So you guys are mainly growing. You're trying to aim for this kind of viral, which I mean is why you and I started talking, right? Is like, hey,
Yeah.
you're making content about different AI platforms. Like, would you want to make some content for us, right? And that's going to be awesome because we have a special link for listeners and everything. But you guys are mainly growing through influencer partnerships at this point.
Yeah, that's like our main way. I haven't even looked at ads yet, and the main reason is obviously we've only been launched for 2 months. At the moment, we have an extremely low churn, but the thing is, because we have two plans, right, 49 and 99, realistically, most people from the ad, right, are going to buy the 49 one, not the 99 one. I don't even yet know what our cost per acquisition on ad spend would be.
Yeah.
So I still feel like 2 months running, it doesn't give me enough peace of mind that we could keep a client for, let's say, 4 months. So we're
Yeah.
able to regroup first year ad spend, and secondly make a bit of profit. So that's why I feel like January, that's going to be the best option, because then that literally gives me 6 months worth of data to be like, okay, our churn is currently this. I know our cost per acquisition is this. I know for a fact I can make a ROAS of XYZ. That's kind of why I'm extending the time frame.
Have you thought about a lot of softwares, especially early on in the process, they will offer like by the year up front, and they'll make it like a really great attractive discount to allow them to be able to bootstrap growth, right? So in your scenario, maybe doing something of like it's $49 a month or it's 400 for the year, right? And that's like a $200 discount, but it it allows you to, if you know your customer acquisition cost is X, now you can take that $400 from this one customer that paid ahead and apply that to go getting 3 more customers today, you
Yeah,
know?
we've we've thought about it, so we do have that option. I
Okay,
can't remember off the top of my head the percentage discount we give, but I know it's pretty nice. It may be
that's
even be
awesome.
like 23 for the whole year. But I still want to offer that like monthly discount because
Yeah. I mean, I'm
because
everything I've ever built is recurring revenue. So I get it. I
good.
definitely get it.
Because it's how I've scaled my future media. Right, it's just monthly. I the thing is, I see so many agency owners like, they scale up to like, yeah, like it's not hard, right? Just to get up to 60 on paid and false. That's like what, like 6 7 clients. But the
Yeah.
thing is, next month they'll be at zero. For me, I've always valued slower growth. And okay, if I need to go sign a client for 1,500, 2 grand a month, but I know they're like a perfect client, because currently in future media, our average time a client stays with us is a year. We have
Yeah.
clients that have now been with us for 2.5 years, which is absolutely insane. Just
Yeah.
because we deliver a good service and we don't charge like an obscene amount. So I just value that monthly recurring revenue, like you said, so much more than. In fact, I did a paid in full for the first time in my life, maybe 3 months ago. I've never done a paid in full before that,
Hmm.
and I
Wow.
hated it because
Yeah.
that meant for the next 2 months that client wouldn't pay me anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is what do you value right now? Do you value cash right now? Do you value consistency and cash tomorrow as well? And I've always erred on the side of cash tomorrow. In most business models, it's it's better to have X amount, like to know that X amount is going to come into your bank account on the first of the month next month, instead of starting over every single month and having to climb back to this mark.
Well, the great thing about business is once you learn the skill of selling, if you really needed cash, like realistically, if you needed to go make 5K in the next week, you could because you have the skills.
Yeah.
That's like the great thing about just being in the trenches is like you can just condense like basically I just put myself through like 2 years of like extreme amount of pain, which someone would probably go through like over 10 years, learning all of this into like a really condensed 2 years where I was like I still do work probably like too much. But then it's enabled me like if I'm like, okay, I need to go make 7K in the next week, I can with ease just because one, I know who to reach out to. Secondly, I can offer them something pretty decent with no real extra effort on my side.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're providing a really good service, then there's nothing to say that if you sign somebody up recurring, you couldn't go upsell them into either something else or upsell them into paying for the year up front if you're doing a good job with somebody.
Exactly.
Um,
And
so let's talk about the actual tool, right? And talk about Fusion AI. Again, there's going to be links and everything down in the description. But we already talked about YouTube script writing. What other tools or features inside of Fusion do you want to highlight for somebody that's looking for this type of a service?
yeah, so I think one of the main key sources, which I really want to highlight, is going to be our AI editor. The reason people love our AI editor so much is one, they can do it themselves. They simply upload a video, it automatically add captions. And what's really, really cool is, let's say you make a mistake, it will automatically cut it out for you, which no other tool particularly does. And when it comes to cutting up the video, instead of having to use like a really weird like timeline, you just highlight it like a Google Doc. And what you can also do, right, you add a click of a button, you can add effects. So these effects can be like cool cinematic effects, split screen effects. You can literally do all of that at a click of a button. So, like I said, you can either do that yourself if you want to edit a video, which on CapCut Premiere Pro would take you maybe 45 minutes to an hour in about 5 to 6 minutes. Or what you can do is to keep your business costs down instead of you having to delegate all of that stuff to an editor. Like you said, you pay yours $20 per output. I was for Fusion Media 20 to 25. You can just go ahead and hire a virtual agent for $3 to $4 per hour because we've made the user interface so extremely to use that you simply just need to make one SOP. We even make SOPs for a lot of our clients. Like if you ever wanted one, we can easily make you one just tailored to your business. And yeah, that's how a lot of people are keeping their costs down. And I think another thing I really want to highlight, which we don't yet have at this time of recording, so 8th of September 2025, but is coming very, very soon, is just going to be greater API integration. Like, I'm so excited for it. Kind of like my vision is you can literally drop a video into Google Drive, it will go straight to our editor, it will automatically edit it for you. Or what you can do is you can use our script writer, it will then pass those scripts to like HeyGen, what else is called like Cynthia, where they have an AI clone already made of you.
Yeah.
It will produce it, so you can 100% remove yourself from the content. It then passes back to our AI editor, where it makes a video of you, and then it automatically schedules it. So that's like my vision, and that's why I've been like talking so much about integration this whole entire time. It's like that is so useful for any business owner because it plugs into their existing workflows, and it's just going to save them well a shit ton of money and time.
Especially from an ads perspective, you can make so
Yeah.
many ads so fast with something like that. So no, that's incredible, man. So we've got the YouTube scripter. We've talked about how you can bring in competitors or even just knowledge bases to be able to get better scripts out of it. We
Yeah.
talked about the editor. And when you say like highlighting stuff, you're talking about highlighting the transcript to make simple edits or inject things instead of a traditional timeline editor, which is very tough with multiple tracks and multiple videos and overlays. Tough to see and edit sometimes. Um, and then any other kind of like features or tools that you want to highlight?
Yeah, so we have a few like more coming up, which I do want to keep a secret for now.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, but I will say one of like my extra visions is going to be I want to make it very like more agency friendly as well. Just seeing as we're teaching like people how they can scale their own AI content agency, so I wouldn't be surprised down the line if we also install some sort of we probably won't go down like a project management system just because it's ridiculous for us to try and compete with ClickUp, right? But like
Yeah.
a video review thing, just because, do you know Frame.io?
Yeah. We use it.
They're, it's a pretty simple tool, right? Which I'm really surprised no one's tried to compete with it.
I
It
know.
really does surprise me because it's like really expensive for what it is.
It is.
So we would probably do something like that just because we have majority of the code anyway. We already have it, so you can upload, store your videos in Firebase, etc. We already have the time player. We simply just need to add comments, and I feel like, well, it's going to firstly been able to keep the cost of your agency down, right? Because you don't need to pay for frame, and secondly, it's just embedded into our overall system, so you can literally make edits where they've commented within our editor, which Frame.io can't do because it's not an editor. So that's a
Yeah.
pretty cool thing we're looking to do.
Got it. Um, have you forecasted or using any AI model? Because I just did this couple of weeks ago or last week actually. Have you forecasted or using any type of like AI modeling to view, at 49 bucks a month, where do we break even with the user, right? Where do, with storage costs and AI costs and API calls and things like that? Have you done any type of forecasting on your profit margins and like your power users, the people that go like all in creating, like maybe editing 50 videos a day and like the crazy, like have you looked at where that break even analysis lies?
So I haven't necessarily used AI to look at it. I did it more like the traditional boring way, just on Google Sheets. But yeah, once again though, I try and delegate these things just because they're kind of like things I just hate.
Yeah.
So I like to just give that information to like my accountant. It's like with my editor, right? Not my editor, my developers. It's like I don't care how you got to that output. Just let me know once you got the output. Same with like these numbers because I'm too over delegation. Is that even a word? I over delegate too much,
Over delegate. Yeah.
but I just try and get most things delegated. This way, I have just more time to think and like more time to do things because, especially with like the AI content agency model we're about to do, right? A big part of like my social proof is going to be, and I hate like selling that, but let's face it, it's what anyone who has an info offer does. You have to sell like a percentage of your lifestyle. So if I am caught up in my software 19 hours a day just behind a laptop, people are going to be like, why on earth would I want his life? When
That
it's not
life.
as a
Yeah.
result of Fusion Media, because I maybe work literally like two, three, it's sometimes even less, right? The only reason I've worked more um, this month is just to remind myself how our agency processes work in some areas just so I can then synthesize that information to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to just free up my time so then I can do cooler stuff because in turn it's going to attract more people. Maybe people will be like, okay, he's pretty cool, and then hopefully I can help them out scale their AI content agency. They then use Fusion AI to deliver for their clients, and all in all, it's just like a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I think you're doing some really, really cool stuff. I really do.
Thank you so
And
much.
especially at such a young age, it's awesome to see. And it's been really cool. The past few weeks, I mean, I had three different AI startup owners and kind of creators on the past 3 weeks with vastly different businesses, vastly different ideas,
Yeah.
and in vastly different stages of life too. So it's been awesome to see and to see exactly how you're attaching it or attacking it with AI and from a content perspective and an agency perspective. I'm very excited to start using the tool and get in there and make some videos about it and kind of show people what you've got going on. But um, outside of the links and everything that are putting in the description, is there anything you want to leave kind of people with?
Yeah, I would kind of say to like anyone, right, is like if you have an idea, just go ahead and execute on it. Because this is the thing. It's like so many people think like something bad's going to happen. But in my head, I've always thought that I can achieve anything. Like if I wanted to go, I don't know, fly a plane, like get a plane's license, I could by the end of the year. If I wanted to be an NBA star, I could. I've never played basketball in my life. Well, I say that I have a basketball net behind me. I don't really play, but I just feel like I can achieve anything, right? And I think it's the same with everyone watching here. It's like if you come up with an idea, you've obviously come up with that idea for a reason. Like it's been put in your head for a reason. So go ahead, execute on it. Two outcomes. You either fail, you're in the exact same place as you are. Like this is what I tell people all the time. Like even when they want to go sign clients for whatever they do, they're like, Joseph, what if I fail? What if I don't deliver? You refund them. You're in the exact same financial position as you were before. Or you go ahead, you give it everything you got, you succeed. And I've never really come across anyone who's really tried in life and not got what they wanted. So there is no risk in life at all. Like, and I know everyone says this, and like a lot of you guys are probably fed up of hearing it, but it's low key true. It's like there's no risk really with anything
Yeah.
you do in life. It's like you just gotta have hustle and like obsession. Like I feel like obsession is the number one thing. Like you gotta go to bed thinking about it, wake up thinking about it. That's what I think.
Yeah. I know. I agree. One of the most common traits of successful entrepreneurs is they believe. Are you familiar with like they call it a locus of control?
No.
So, locus, not as in like locust, the like bug or whatever, but like locus, LOCUS. So you either believe you have an internal locus of control or an external locus of control, which means if you have the trait of entrepreneurs, especially the most successful ones, is they believe they have an internal locus of control, which means like I believe the things that I do, the things that I work on, the things that I build or bring to the world influences my environment around me and influences outcomes that come my way. Or if you have an external locus of control, which I think is much more common, you believe that your environment, your circumstances, your job, your relationships, the economy, the housing market, all of that affects you, your outcome, what I'm capable of.
It doesn't.
And what you're describing here is like you have a very internal locus of control. I do too. I've never once doubted that I could go do anything, right? And
Yeah.
so, what I'm hearing from you and what I want to encourage and kind of double down on or just like camp out on for a second is if you do catch yourself, whether you want to call it the victim mindset or however you want to call it, right? If you do catch yourself being a whole lot more on the side of I don't have as much control, everything else around me has much more control, and I should be reacting to that rather than I can go affect change and be a force out there in the
Yeah.
world, you need to reevaluate your
Well,
your your mindset.
well, the thing is, and well, the thing is, and this has helped me so much. You need something which just drives you. It's like what Patrick Bet Davidson says: choose your enemies wisely. Like I have like a few just things which I always replay in my head, which really just get me pissed off. And it's like, wait until I'm worth this amount of money, and then it's literally like, and I've achieved this, I've done this, I've done this. It is literally like you can't tell me anything at that point. So you do need something which really just frustrates you, and it can just be anything. And like when you feel unmotivated, for me, I just replay that in my mind, and it's like, okay, I need to get back to work because right now I'm going through pain. It's hard having to do all of this work. I'm barely sleeping. But how's it going to feel 5 years from now when I've done it? That is
Yeah,
what I just constantly replay in my head.
I love it, dude. I love it. Love the mentality. Like I said, I love the things that you're working on. So if there's ever any way that I can kind of help you out, you just let me know. One thing that I do for every single guest that comes on the BAMcast is I ask them this one question, right? So the BAMcast, BAM stands for by any means necessary. So I always ask, right? What are you, Joseph, going to accomplish by any means necessary?
Me, Joseph, by any means necessary, will be a nine-figure entrepreneur by 25, by any means necessary. I'm 22, by
Nice.
the way. I still got 3 years.
Let's go. 3 years, baby. Almost exactly 3 years. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. Hope we can stay in touch. excited to get in there and start using Fusion. And I'll keep the listeners updated as well as I continue to kind of use it and get my feedback. But love what you're doing, man. Appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. I know it's late there with the time difference, but thank you, Joseph, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.